Oh, blow me, I spoke for 45 minutes on Rupert Murdoch, and I introduced the concept of his education and educating a global cabal, but I forgot to speak about it and profile it, so I'm going to make a little 5-minute video on Geelong School. Now, Geelong School is in Australia. It's in Victoria, Australia, a place called Corio, Victoria, Australia. It's got a Latin name, it's got a Latin motto: Christus Nobis Factus Sapientia. Now, it looks like a Christian mission there, and it gives no translation of that, so I'll keep you in the dark on that, but I'll tell you that this is a G20 school. Now, G20 is the group of people, the cabal of nations that runs the world corruptly, which Rupert Murdoch is ever so proud of, and this is the school that he went to. It's founded by Archdeacon Theodore Carlos Benoni Stretch. Its chairman is Jeremy D. Kirkwood. Its headmaster is Stephen Meek. It's a co-educational cross-gender school. The colours are striking Eton blue. It's an independent Anglican school, co-educational boarding day school. It's in Geelong, Victoria, Corio Bay and Limeburners Bay. It's got a Church of England basis. It's preschool to year 12, including 800 boarders from years 5 to 12. The school's fees are the most expensive in Australia, based on a comparison of year 12 student fees. In 2010, the Age reported that Geelong Grammar ranked second among Australian schools based on the number of alumni who had received a Top Order of Australia honour. Now, so I'm just looking at some of the old headmasters and some of the old leadership regimes. There's the old hut of the original school at Mount Stirling. In 1980 they appointed John Elliott Lewis as its boss, or its headmaster. It's got a presence in the International Baccalaureate Diploma Programme. Here are some of its leaders, dating all the way back to 1855. Dr. George Oakley Vance, John Bracebridge Wilson, Leonard Harford Linden, Reverend Dr. Francis Ernest Brown, Sir James Ralph Darling, Thames Ronald Garnett, Honourable Charles Douglas Fisher. We're back up into the 1980s now. John Elliott Lewis, 1995 Lister Hanna, 2000 Nicholas Sampson, and 2004 to the present Stephen Meek. There's all the middle schools and the buildings and the various places that they operate from, and there is a man shaking hands with people in the Eton blue jacket, and I was stunned when I read the little legend under that image, because what it says there is, under a list of old Geelong grammarians, it says that that rather scruffy looking man who looks as if he needs his hair washed is Prince Charles, making a return visit to Geelong Grammar. Prince Charles is the heir to the throne of England, and he was schooled in Australia. How many of the listeners know that? Because I was stunned. Where's he going? Oh, sorry, I've skipped a bit. And let me just see who else went to the school, because there are only 3 famous alumni, and Prince Charles has got to be the most famous of all. But who else went there? Bostock's. Bostock's a very famous name in the Bloomsbury region in London. Senior school houses, so they've got famous people for the house names. There he is again. Amongst the school's notable alumni are His Royal Highness Charles, Prince of Wales, media mogul Rupert Murdoch, Portia de Rossi, John Gorton, Prime Minister of Australia 1968 to 1971, His Majesty Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin, Tim McCartney Snape, a mountaineer and author, Sultan of Terengganu, King of Malaysia, and Kerry Packer, who was Australia's richest person at the time of his death. The next bit about the schools coming together is quite stunning, because what they tell you is that this is a G20 school, and the G20 schools consume the globe. Here we go. I'll get you a list of them. Yeah, I've just told you about the UN summits, about G20 meetings, about G8 meetings, how expensive they are, how they're held all around the world in elite resorts. And here, I was quite stunned when at the level of schools at this age group that you can be sending people from different continents to schools. So the member of the G20 schools group include Algeria, École Victor Hugo Constantine, École Jean Mayer, Lycée Jugurtha, Lycée La Vérone, Paul Bert Algiers, Lycée Descartes, Lycée Omar Racine, Lycée Al-Makrani, Lycée Saint-Augustin. Argentina, yeah, our enemy in wartime, thanks to Mrs. Thatcher. St George's College, Quilmes. Australia, Geelong Grammar School. Shit. Pardon me, I've lost my place, as it were. Right then. Geelong Grammar School, Ivanhoe Grammar School, Melbourne Grammar School, Scotch College, Melbourne, St Peter College, Adelaide. Remember the religious joke, there was no St Peter. The King's School, Sydney. Canada, Appleby College. Hong Kong, Diocesan Girls' School, Chinese International School, China. High school affiliated to Renmin University of China. India, Delhi College, in brackets indoor. The Doon School, Jordan, King's Academy. New Zealand, King's College, Auckland. Peru, Markham College. Remember that in charge of Ukraine we have Lord Markham of Ukraine, who's actually a reigner from the Rochdale region in England, but manipulates the future of Ukraine from his business address in that country. Singapore, the Raffles Institution, that's Raffles School. South Africa, Bishop's Diocesan College. See how often the religious fraud comes in? St Andrew's College, Grahamstown. There was no St Andrew either. 19 countries have the mythical St Andrew, the disciple, as their patron saint. That includes Russia. The man never lived. They name schools after him all over the globe and all over the G20 schools sector. St Cyprian's School, Cape Town. St Stithian's College, South Korea. Career Minyock Leadership Academy, Switzerland. International School of Geneva. Turkey. Remember the report in Scotland in the video a couple of days ago? Turkey, always used to spark war. The Hume Bridge in the Bosporus, in the Turkey region. The killing of the Archduke. It's a massive manipulation of people's minds to take them to war century after century, to take them into world wars only 30 to 70 years after you've already had millions die in a global conflict. The G20 school in Turkey is called Robert College in Istanbul. United Arab Emirates, Al Ittihad National Private School, Raha School, Al Yasmin School, Shohihafat School. United Kingdom, Eton College, Marlborough College, Millfield School, Sevenoaks School, Stowe School, Wellington College. United States, Buckingham Brown and Nichols MA, Crossroads School, California, Deerfield Academy, Massachusetts, Harvard Westlake School, California, Hotchkiss School, Connecticut, Lawrenceville School, New Jersey, Phillips Academy, Andover, Massachusetts, Phillips Exeter Academy, NH, I'm not sure what that is, Polytechnic School, California. Then Kenya, where Her Majesty was when they sought her out to take over the throne, Brookhouse School. Ghana, SOS Herman Gemeiner International College. Conferences. The G20 schools conferences have been held in sorry, I've lost the place again. (2006) Wellington College, Berkshire, United Kingdom. 2007, this is when I was out the country, as needed to have frequent meetings at that time. 2007, Bishop's Diocesan College and St Andrews College. 2008, King's Academy. 2009, Harvard Westlake School, United States. King's Academy is Jordan. Bishop's and Diocesan St Andrews College is South Africa. King's School, Parramatta, is Australia. And in 2013, when they had a gap between 2010 of 3 years, as if globalism was relaxed enough to look after itself without having school meetings at this level, that was held in 2013 in Delhi College, India. And it is just amazing how all of these things get manipulated by people that become elite leaders, scholarship winners, that become peers of the realm, Knights of the Order of Malta, and they become leaders of society so that they can put their colleagues down and keep them in poverty and in pay freezes. It's ever so convenient that you can run the world this way, and it is ever so offensive to God that it is run by peer pressure and by theft. It will stop soon. I just want you to know that if you read between the lines, you can see that we are run by tyrants and that we are not allowed to enter into any of these meetings so that you can hear what the policy makers declare. And it's exactly the same at the G8, at the NATO conferences, at the G20 leadership teams. All of them are spending a fortune with their delegations so that they cannot reveal to the world what they intend to do to their national treasuries and to render their countries incompetent and to lose all of the sovereignty and capacity to be great or even just prosperous and wealthy, so that people can get deals from the beginning of their career to the end of them that mean that they can live on their pensions, and that the ex-servicemen and the policemen get looked after into retirement, and that the university underlings don't get the sack without any redundancy payment, and they don't get imposed on them 0 hours contracts. And Justin Welby, even at the Church of England, might be able to look after Britain's homeless without charging 80% interest on the loans that they are forced to take from Wonga.com or the Church of England. It is brutal, it is vicious, it is premeditated, and all of it is pre-planned in meetings from schools where the children are under 12 years of age. I'm going to stop now. You can find the rest of it on Wikipedia. You can find all of the involvements of Lizzie Murdoch, Lachlan Murdoch, and all of the people involved in the family on the company check site or companies in the UK. And I've made a couple of videos showing you how you can use those things to find out what your local MP does, what your local headmaster does. Yeah, because a lot of it is manipulated at the level of even your local school. If the teacher in your local school is from elsewhere, you need to think about the motives for that. And you need to look at the track record of those teachers, and it's the same in the university sector. The bosses at the universities are now stealing from the children and the students at the universities, and their undeclared income is vast. Their tax evasion is massive, and a lot of them now are from the corporate sector or from the intel money laundering sectors, like Lord Kerr of Kinlochart and like Miss Manningham Buller, the last two bosses at Imperial College London. Trained in Marks and Spencer's, where the directors include John Hood, Lady Louise Patton. It is a ruthless, greedy cabal of elite people that cannot account for themselves if asked to in a public place. That's why they need NATO's armies and your children in uniform to protect what they do. I'm going to stop now.